And let's start with some international news first, where the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Sunday has declared victory in a tightly contested presidential election, extending his 15-year grip on power in the face of a revitalized opposition. The Turkish voters had for the first time cast ballots for both president and also the parliament in the snap polls, with Erdogan looking for a first-round knockout and an overall majority for his ruling Justice and Development Party. Now, Erdogan's supporters also took to the streets of Istanbul after the Turkish leader declared victory in the presidential election. Celebrations erupted outside Erdogan's residence in Istanbul and at the AKP headquarters in Ankara, with crowds of flag-waving supporters. The Turkey's Kurds took to the streets in celebration as the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party won enough votes to enter the parliament. The pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party had about 10.94% of the votes, with 95% of the ballots having been counted in the parliamentary elections, exceeding the 10% threshold that is required to enter into the parliament. President Donald Trump has said on Sunday that people who entered the United States illegally should be sent back immediately to where they came from without any judicial process, likening them to invaders who are trying to break into the country. It was unclear if Trump was also advocating an expansion of the current law that allows expedited removal of illegal immigrants at the U.S. border, a policy that his administration has embraced since he took office. And U.S. President Donald Trump's senior advisor Jared Kushner has said that Washington will announce its Middle East peace plan soon and also press on with or without the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. And the comments have underlined the gaping divisions between Washington and the Palestinian leadership that has widened since Trump has recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital in December and also moved the U.S. embassy there, overriding decades of U.S. policy. The Palestinian officials who want East Jerusalem as the capital of a future state have accused Jared Kushner of trying to undermine Mahmoud Abbas, and have also described as their leader's moderate camp. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has called for European solutions on migration wherever possible, but also further added that she would seek direct deals with separate European Union states on migration following talks on the current crisis with 15 of her EU counterparts at the European Commission. The Merkel is in fact under severe pressure to try and find a solution for the 28th of June summit with her coalition partner, pushing for a sharper course in a migration policy that could ultimately lead to a collapse of her government if the talks were to fail. Prince William toasted the historic ties between the royal families of Britain and Jordan as he started his 5-day visit to the Middle East on Sunday. The Duke of Cambridge will be spending 2 days in Amman and also other cities in Jordan before travelling to Israel and the Palestinian territories as part of his official tour in the region. Prince William will also become the first British royal to pay an official visit to Israel and the Palestinian territories 70 years after the British forces withdrew from the Holy Land, leaving behind divisions that have remained to this day. The President Emmanuel Macron has proposed the creation of closed migrant centres in Europe where authorities can quickly assess whether or not the migrants are eligible to apply for asylum and then send those back who do not qualify. Macron has said that the centres are expected to allow a rapid response to asylum requests as well as foster European solidarity so that each country takes in an organised way migrants who are entitled for asylum. A woman from Saudi Arabia named as Asil Al Hamad has drawn a Renault Formula One car around the French Grand Prix circuit in front of thousands of fans on Sunday to declare the start of a new era for the Saudi women in motorsport. It was not the first time that Al Hamad had driven a Formula One car. She tried out the same one at the circuit on the 5th of June as a part of Familiarization Day. But that was private, whereas today's lap was in front of hundreds of spectators as part of a parade which also marked the return of Formula One to France after a 10-year absence. And a number of Bahraini women drove to the coastal city of Al Khobar in Saudi Arabia to congratulate the Saudi women on their very first day of driving after the lifting of the world's last and perhaps the most archaic of ban on female drivers. The women crossed the King Fahd Causeway connecting Bahrain and Saudi Arabia to meet with a number of their Saudi counterparts in the coastal city of Al Khobar. Now, the women also hugged each other and posed for photographers and took countless selfies as they flaunted their country's flags by the beach in Al Khobar. And also an official at the Houthi-held Hodeidah port has said that there has been no disruption in operations despite the recent escalation by the Saudi-led Arab coalition in the coastal city. The vice president of the Yemeni Red Sea ports has told media that the fighting in Hodeidah had not been affecting the activity at the port and that it had actually received 3 ships since the clashes started on the 12th of June. The Alliance of the Sunni Arab States believes that by capturing the only seaport in the Houthi hands, it can effectively bring it to its knees, and also the Iran-aligned movement. The 2 people have been confirmed dead after an explosion hit a massive rally for the Prime Minister in Addis Ababa. And according to the Ethiopian Health Ministry, a second person who was in intensive care unit at a hospital in the capital city has died due to his severe injuries. Now, 1 person had already been killed in Saturday's blast. It said that more than 150 people were injured in the blast. The Danish Prime Minister has said that the container ship Alexander Maersk had picked up migrants at the request of the Italian Coast Guard. Rasmussen said that his government would be in touch with their Italian counterparts on the situation. The Alexander Maersk picked up as many as 113 migrants from a boat off the southern Italy coast early on Friday. The Maersk said that the ship had received supplies from Italian authorities to care for the migrants, including blankets and food. The persistent rainstorms pelted parts of South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region from Saturday to Sunday morning, unleashing massive flooding, causing buildings to collapse and also triggering a landslide that has so far killed at least about 6 people in the country's Wejigov village. The rain has caused more than 20 residential houses to collapse, forcing nearly about 380 people to evacuate the rainstorm. It has also flooded many parts of the urban area in the county, cutting off nearly about half of the roads leading to towns or villages. And local authorities and residents are now working to restore transportation. In Lingyuan County, the rainstorm triggered in a landslide which has buried a family of about 6 people in early Sunday morning. Now, an explosion almost completely destroyed a several-storied residential building in Wuppertal city in western Germany. The fire service spokesperson has said that 5 people were injured, with 3 being critically injured. Now, authorities have not provided any information about the cause, but the police have begun a criminal investigation into the matter. Now, a truck roof crowded with people collapsed at the Scarlet Sails fireworks display in Russia. The clip, filmed by a local resident, shows a large group of people celebrating on the top of the truck in the middle of a crowd, and also the roof collapsing. The Scarlet Sails fireworks display is the climatic event of the annual White Nights Festival. The tradition also celebrates the end of the school year with a stunning firework display as a ship with scarlet sails makes its way slowly along the English and also the Admiralty embankments to the Winter Palace. Over 1,000 people gathered in Mexico City's Zocalo to break the Guinness World Record for simultaneous foosball playing. According to the Guinness, as many as 1,083 people were registered to play table soccer at the same time. Germany, in fact, held the previous record of 1,000 people. The world record comes amid soccer mania in Mexico after the national team had famously beaten the present world champions Germany and defeated South Korea as well during the World Cup in Russia.
Todo su esfuerzo porque estamos en este torneo de futbolito minigol.
4-4 van empate.
Empates.
Van empates de esas señoritas. Muy bien, vamos.
Ahí ya ganaron.
The supporters of the LGBT rights took to the streets of San Francisco, New York, Minneapolis and also Seattle to celebrate Pride. Now, the festivities included massive floats, musical performances and dancing. In San Francisco, a large pink triangle was positioned on a hill overlooking the city, and the Nazis used the symbol to both distinguish and shame gays and lesbians. And also in recent years, the LGBT community has embraced the triangle, decidedly inverting it as a symbol of pride and not the marker of shame as it was originally intended. Now, hundreds of members belonging to sexual minorities in India's southern city of Chennai conducted a Pride March for the Pride Month, and participants thronged the streets and roads carrying placards, banners, rainbow flags and also raised slogans and danced to the beats of drums to celebrate what is known as the Pride Month. Now, hundreds of residents of India's capital, New Delhi, are in fact protesting against the proposed felling of as many as about 16,500 trees in the area. The green activists and local residents, including children, stood firm near the sites where the trees are proposed to be cut. The people are also hugging the trees, a reminder of the Chipko movement to try and save them from getting under the axe for what are being described as development projects. A large number of children were in fact seen at the site, lending their contribution to the protest. Refuting BJP Chief Amit Shah's allegations holding PDP responsible for the breakup of the alliance in Jammu and Kashmir, former Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti on Sunday has launched a counterattack on the Saffron Party, accusing it of disowning its own narrative or calling it a soft approach. The former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister's tweets came in response to BJP leaders holding the PDP accountable for the failure of the alliance. It was on the 19th of June that BJP, in a surprise decision, announced that it will no longer be a part of the alliance, leading to the downfall of the government in the state. Alright, let's get you some news from the world of entertainment, where Harry Potter series author J.K. Rowling has sent gifts along with a personalized letter to a 12-year-old Kashmiri fan, Kulsum, who had written a heartwarming note to her in April earlier in the year. The note was shared by the girl's teacher on Twitter. The author had replied to the girl's note and also responded by tweeting, "I would love to send her something." They're also talking about meeting daughter and global actor Priyanka Chopra's rumoured boyfriend Nick Jonas. Her mother, Madhu Chopra, has said that she has met him for the first time and it's actually too early to form an opinion of him. Nick, who is an American singer, arrived in India with Priyanka Chopra. The Pakistani actor-singer Ali Zafar filed a defamation case claiming damages of almost about 55 crore against singer and actress Misha Shafi who accused him of sexual harassment on social media. Now, Zafar has claimed that Shafi had caused tremendous injury to his reputation and livelihood. His claims have included 1.1 crore for mental torture and over 22 crores for loss of business opportunities. Now, the Hollywood Reporter has exclusively confirmed that actress Erin Doughty, who has appeared in Call the Midwife, will be playing the daughter of Queen Elizabeth and also Prince Philip in the Netflix drama The Crown. Notably, the entire cast of the show will be recast for season 3 and 4 respectively. The Crown captures the chronicles of Britain's royal family. Alright, let's now shift our attention to some news from the world of sports, and let's start with the latest results from the FIFA 2018 World Cup in Russia, where England have confirmed their place in the knockout berths following their stunning 6-1 win over debutants Panama. The Three Lions were in fact cruising 5-0 at half-time through Harry Kane and John Stones' brace in addition to Jesse Lingard's long-range effort. Kane also completed his hat-trick in the 62nd minute through a lucky deflection, and Felipe Baloy netted Panama's first ever goal at a World Cup. And in Group A, Japan twice came from behind to hold Senegal to a 2-2 draw. Either team could have actually booked their place in the knockouts with a victory, and Senegal twice took the lead through Sadio Mane and also Moussa Wege, but efforts from Takashi Onwe and also Keisuke Honda ensured that the points would be shared. And also in some late-night action, Poland became the first European team to be eliminated from the World Cup this year after suffering a 3-0 mauling against Colombia. The James Rodriguez dictated the play for the South Americans by setting up 2 goals. Yerry Mina, Radamel Falcao and Juan Cuadrado netted in the rout to help Colombia retain their hopes of progressing to the knockout stages. The third and the final round of group stage matches commences from today, with host Russia taking on Uruguay with victories in their opening 2 games. Now, both teams have secured their place in the knockout stages and are vying to finish top of the Group A. Now, in the other Group A clash, Saudi Arabia and Egypt have battled it out for pride in the dead rubber clash at Volgograd Arena. Now, both teams were already eliminated from the competition after defeats in their opening 2 matches. And also late-night action on Monday will see teams from Group B vie for a progression from the group stage. Reigning European champions Portugal will be taking on Iran in what is a virtual shootout for a place in the knockout stage. Now, both teams are separated by a solitary point, with Portugal holding a marginal advantage. Now, merely avoiding defeat will be enough for Cristiano Ronaldo and company to enter into the last 16. Meanwhile, 2010 champion Spain will take on an already eliminated Morocco in the Kaliningrad. Spain sit level with Portugal on 4 points at the top of the group, but will be extremely desperate to finish as group toppers. Barring a high-scoring defeat, Spain are more or less assured of a place in the knockout stage. But Fernando Hierro's side will be desperate to finish on top of the group standings.